Get started.
Thanks. Hello, everybody. How you doing? What's going on out there?
Woo!
I baked
Well-
dinner rolls today. That's what's going
Oh,
on.
yummy.
Oh, I'm going over to your house.
No, you know where I live.
Hey, I'm at the door. Open up.
Well,
The dog didn't hear you. She didn't bark. Mm.
I didn't
Well,
hear what.
tonight, we got a lot to go over. A lot of different apps, a lot of cool little features. Hope you guys can stay
Ah,
awake.
there's Gina Klein.
There's Gina Klein.
Good evening, Gina.
All right. Well, I think should we get started? Is that?
Yes, let's get
okay.
started.
You know, if we were waiting for somebody else. Okay. So I'm going to go over a lot of different features of various apps. And I think some of that's going to affect everybody. Someone's going to have something they're going to really like tonight. It's not going to be a one-sided, you know, just talking about a couple things. So I guess the first thing to get started on, I was thinking about starting with the BARD app, the Talking Book Library, and
Yeah.
how it works. So as you all might know, that is the free audiobook option for us. We can register with them, and then we can download books and have them read to us by their reader. So what I'll do is I'll go through it a little bit with voiceover. You'll hear a voiceover in the background. And if there are any questions, you know, or something I missed on it, just let me know, and we'll go through that. So the first thing you do to bring BARD up is you just tell Siri to open BARD. I'm going to do that now. First thing, I'm going to increase the volume on my phone so you can hear it. Hang on a second.
Facebook.
That's nice and loud.
Double tap to open.
Okay, so I'm going to take the speaking rate down to an acceptable level.
Characters. Words. Speaking rate. 55%. 50%.
So we'll go 50%. So hopefully that's loud and clear and slow enough. So here we go. Hey Siri. Open BARD.
Can't open app here. Sorry about that.
Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm looking at the BARD screen. And at the bottom of the BARD, you have the navigation area. I don't know if you can, for those who can see my phone from here. At the very bottom are these tabs. Now I'm going to go through each one real quick, just real fast, tell you what they are, kind of what they do, and then we'll go into looking for a book, you know, putting on a wish list, downloading the book, read it, and then delete it. So we'll go through all that stuff. So the first tab on the bottom.
Tab bar. Bookshelf. Tab.
Those are the
4.
Those are the books that you've downloaded from BARD. They exist on your phone. They're not coming down anymore from BARD. They sit on your phone as downloads. Okay, and the second tab.
Selected. Get books. Tab. 2 of 4.
Get books allows you to go and search for books. And there's a few other options, but we'll skip those for now, just to get the meat and potatoes out of here. And then you have settings.
Settings. Tab. Now reading.
And then finally you have a now reading tab. And that is where your player is. So when you have a book on your bookshelf and you want to read it, you would tap on the book name on the bookshelf, and then the reader would come up, tab 4, and then you push play on the reader, and it'll start playing the book. So to find a book, you got to go to the second tab, which is called
Selected.
Get Books.
Tab. Selected. Get books.
And then you want
Tab.
to navigate to the option that allows you to get the books. Let me just go there. Hang on a second.
Get books. Get book.
Sorry.
Bard website.
So the
Double
option,
tap to open Bard.
the option in that tab is called Bard website.
Bard
I'm
website.
gonna go there,
In progress.
and it's gonna
Bard
come
main
up.
page. Heading level 1.
So you got Bard main page, heading level 1. That's what VoiceOver is gonna tell you. That means you're on the front door of the Bard website. Just below that, if you do left to right swipes, and I'm gonna do that, we're gonna get to the field where you can type in a title or an author. Now there are many search fields, but the one I use is the very first one, because the other ones are a little bit harder to use. And it would take me a long time to explain how to use each one, but this is a general field that allows you to search by a lot of things. Now, if you got the DB number, let's say somebody says, hey, get this book, it's DB number whatever, that's the identifier for the book on Bard. If you put that in, it goes right to the book. Otherwise, we have to search for it by name. So let me go to that field where you do the search.
Recently added a list of books and magazines. Most popular book. A list of the most find books. Search the collection. Text field.
So search the
Double
collection.
tap to edit.
Hang on.
You-
Search the collection text field is the thing you want to be on. VoiceOver is going to tell you that. So you double tap that.
Search the collection. Text field.
Now I'm going to look for a very popular book called The Three Little Pigs. So I'm going to dictate that in there. Double tap with 2 fingers. 3 Little Pigs.
Inserted 3 little pigs.
Okay, that's dictation. And then I'm going to go to the go button right next to it, left to right swipe.
Go. Button. Search the collect. End of text. 3 little pigs. Go. Button. Search the collection. 3 little pigs. Text field.
So it takes a second for it to do it.
Displaying items 1 through 16 of 16.
So there's 16 search results that came up, displaying all 16. And again, if you're not looking at the phone, which is what I'm doing now, I have the phone pointed towards you guys. I just do a left to right swipe until I find the one I want. So I just keep going. It's going to say a few things, so just bear with me.
Start over. Book series. Little House. 13. Pretty Little Liars. Little House Books. My Little Pony. 5. 3 Dark Crowns. Go to Braille. 6 audiobooks. Heading level 1.
Now, audiobooks is where you want to be because there's many kinds of books. So audiobooks is the heading where you want to be when you start downloading your books. So we'll go there. We're on audiobooks now.
10 records will be displayed.
So there's 10 in audiobooks and there's 6 records in somewhere else in the author or the annotation, whatever. So we'll keep going.
2 in the title. In-page link. 0 in the author. 8 in the annotation. 0 in the book number. In the title. 2 audiobooks. The 3 Little Pigs and the Fox DB 31,500.
So let's say that's the one we want. The 3 Little Pigs and the Fox, whatever. So it's going to give you the title of the book. It's going to give you a brief description of, author, who's reading it, a little synopsis of the story. And then at the bottom, the important part of that is going to be add to wish list. So that's what I'm going to do. I want to go down to that. So I'm going to do a left to right swipe to do that. So here we go. We're going to look at this book.
Hooks. Read by Andy Chappell. Folk Tales. In this Appalachian version, Little Girl Run Piglet. Add to my wish list. The
That's
3
what you
Little
want.
Pigs and the Fox. Link.
So when you do that, it adds it to your wish list. It doesn't download it yet. It just puts it on the list of things that you want to download. That's what a wish list is in this context. So I'm going to double tap on that to add to wish list.
Add to my wish list. The 3 Little Pigs and the Fox. Link. Tab bar. Selected.
All right.
Get books. Tab.
So now it's been added to my wish list. Now, if I want to bring that book down, I got to get out of this whole search thing. Okay. So you have to go up to the top left, I believe.
Book
Let
to
me
3 little
see.
bar. Get books. Back button.
That back button, get books.
45%. Get book.
And then we go
Bard
to
website.
the very top
Double
option.
tap to open.
So we're back at this tab number 2 on the bottom, remember?
Tab bar. Selected. Get books.
Okay.
Tab.
Now, if we want to get that book that we just added, we go to wish list,
Wish list.
very top.
Double tap for wish list. Wish list. The three little wish list. 4 items. The Three Little Pigs and the Fox.
Now, if I want to download that book,
Uh,
sorry, it keeps talking. So if I want to download that book, I double tap on it. So I'm going to do that.
The three alert. Confirmation.
Let's see.
Would you like to download this title? Cancel. Okay. Button. Downloading.
Now, what I was doing there, I was responding to a little modal dialogue that pops up over the top of everything. You got to respond yes or no, okay, cancel. Okay, and that sound, that doorbell, that means it's
The Three
downloading.
Little.
So now,
Cool.
if I want to read that book, I got to go to my bookshelf, tab number 1 at the bottom. So we're going to go to the bottom, tab number 1.
Tab bar. Bookshelf.
Okay.
Tab. What?
So I'm going to look for, now you got lots of content, and one of those categories is audiobooks. That's what we're talking about tonight. They have magazines and other things too, but we're just talking audiobooks tonight. You can explore for yourself all the different kinds of material you can download. So let's go to audiobooks.
Audiobooks.
Very first option.
6 items. 2001, A Space Odyssey. Black holes. More info. The Dead Zone. More info. The Science of Interstellar. More info. The Shining. More info. The Three Little Pigs and the Fox.
There's my Three Little Pigs. Now, if I want to,
Okay.
if I want to read that, I double tap on that in my bookshelf. So I do that now. And
The
then
Three Little Pigs and the Fox.
then a player comes up, and I'll show it to the people who can see a little bit. It looks just like the physical player. It's got the buttons and all whatnot. And I'm just going to go find the play button. I drag my finger on the screen until I hear the word play. So I'll just do that.
Jump by net. Fast play. Button.
For you visual people, the play
Double
is
tap to play.
looks like a rectangular green button with black lettering. So if I hit play, that will then become the pause button. You just double tap again to pause it. So I'm going to start it just so you can hear it.
The Three Little Pigs and the Fox by William H. Hooks. Illustrated by S.D. Schindler. Text copyright 19.
Stop.
So I just paused it, stopped it. And that's basically how you get a book down to your phone. So it's not too hard, but it's not just real quick either. So that's kind of the way you do that. And finally, when you want to delete a book, you got to go back to your bookshelf.
Tab bar. Bookshelf. Tab.
You click on that. We go to books again.
Audio magazine. Audiobooks. 2001. The Dead Zone. Rows 2 to 6 of The Three Little Pigs and the Fox.
So
Books. William H. The Three Little.
since I already know the ending of that book, I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to delete it. So we're just going to do a single finger swipe up to bring up that context rotor menu that some of you have already become very familiar with. So listen to some of the options.
All books and folk tale. All books and folk tale.
Right.
The Three Little. All books. Read. More info. Delete.
You hit delete,
Performed action. Delete.
and then it'll
The
confirm. It'll confirm that you deleted it by saying performed action delete. And that's basically the long and short of getting a book very quickly with Bard. Coming in, going to the tab to get on your wish list, transferring it from your wish list via download to your bookshelf, and then playing it, and then of course deleting it when you're done. Because you want to delete these when you're done reading them if you can, because they take up a lot of space. They're big books, big fat. But the iPhone can take a lot of books, thousands if you want, but you don't want to build up a lot of books that you don't need. So that's basically it. Are there any questions about Bard? Is anybody intrigued? What's going on out there?
Hey Manny, when I'm on the search field for the get the books, I go to the Bard website, and then you search the books, and I push the in the search field. I mean, I have to push search like 1,000 times before it comes up. You got
Okay, I understand that. You have to wait for it because the search is not immediate. If you hit that go button or search or whatever you're hitting to start it, just give it about 15, 20 seconds and it'll change. And then you'll hear search results. Even if you get nothing,
Yeah.
you'll still get search results.
Okay, so it's loading the search, or it's loading the.
It's a little web page inside of the app, and I won't go into all the little details, but we have to wait for that thing to search and respond and send the
Yeah.
consultant back to you.
Yeah, you got it pretty quickly. And then for all your apps on the phone, do you have to update the version or anything like that, or you just download the new version?
That should be automatic. All
Yeah,
your
that's-
apps on your phone, including the operating system itself, should automatically update.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Can you also, when you're on Bard, if there's not a book, is there you can request put a book up there on the website?
You know, that I don't know. I could look into that. I can make a note of that and check into that for you if you'd like.
Thanks. Yeah. that'd be-
Okay. Everybody okay then?
I have a question.
Come on, give me the question.
I haven't used Bard in a while, and when I went to get on it, I thought my phone remembered my password, but it doesn't seem to remember my password.
Well, it's
And
funny-
even if I go to passwords. So
Well, it's
do
funny
I,
you mentioned that, this is Nancy, right?
right,
Yeah, hey Nancy. They were having trouble with their servers and coordinating the credentials on your phone with the servers. They had a little problem with that for a while. I think they've ironed it out.
okay, then that was about last week.
Oh, last week? Well, that's something different.
Yeah,
You can always call them and have them reset your password and use that reset password to get in and
Okay.
try it again.
yeah, I just forgot to do it this week. I will do it.
Give that a shot.
Sounds good, thank you.
Can you can you order Braille books to be mailed from you, or discs or tapes to mail from you from the app? Or
I
you have,
don't know, Clark. I think you can. I want to say yes. I don't know if Lupita knows a little bit more about it than I do. Lupita, do you know anything about that?
Can you hear me okay?
yeah.
Now we
Okay.
can-
Oh my gosh, sorry. So the only thing I know is sometimes they work on a Braille display, but it is a Braille ready format, so that's probably the only way you'd be able to get it.
Okay. Yeah, you can't order them to mail you. Maybe not so much. Or they mail you a book or magazine.
This is Barbara here. At the end of the summer, they'll be sending Braille players to those that want them. And
Oh,
you'll be able to have just a separate player that does just Braille books, and you'll be able to download like you do now from Bard.
How do
So
we
that'll be coming. That's not here yet, but that'll be coming.
how do we request one? A Braille reader or whatever?
When they're ready, they'll notify people.
Cool.
all right. Anything else on Bard? Okay. So-
Hey, this is Patty. Hello,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
One thing that I find very interesting when when Manny was trying to delete, those options that it told you more. Oh, so you're on the book and you're trying to delete it. So if there's a lot more books from that author, you could choose to pick all of them to go to your wish list. So you don't have to go book by book. It just selects all those books by that person into your wish list, which is real cool.
There you go. I learned something new.
Wait, can you say that again?
So when you're in that option, when you're trying to delete, remember how Manny went? You're on the book,
Yeah.
and then I'm sorry, I keep hearing music on my end. I don't know why.
Not mine.
You're playing music too?
Not
No,
me.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to patch in Gina,
Okay.
and I didn't realize it did that. And now
I don't know.
she's 469. Can you tolerate music for a second, or should I just not bother and she just do the pass the
Yes.
Zoom, whatever. I can't podcast. Or the link.
I yield to
Yeah.
Barbara, whatever she says.
It's fine.
All right, let me just. You're going to hear music for a second, and it's going to be real short. Going to end. Okay, just bear with.
Gina's back on, John.
Gina got in?
Yeah, she's already in. So
Oh,
let's
okay.
go ahead
Makes
and
it move.
continue.
Right. Okay, I'm going to bail out then. Bye.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John.
Okay, Patty, your show. Your
Oh, no,
Okay,
she just
so-
left again.
Hi, guys.
Okay.
Hello. So what I was saying is on the last, how Manny was showing you guys how to delete the book. So in there, you have other options. It says more books by that person. So you could download, or you don't download. It automatically sends all the books that they have on audio by that person, and it just sends it to your wish list.
Yeah. I'm in the AZ Arizona Talking Book Club, and we meet the second Thursday of every month. We read all the books. It's a book chat group from this website. It's fun. It's nice. Older people. We've just finished Thunderdog. It's about the
I read that a long time ago. Yeah.
yeah. Now we just started a new book.
Okay, if there's no more about Bard, we'll continue on. Are we ready to go?
Let's do it.
Yes. All right. So the next thing I wanted to cover tonight was managing your contacts. And that includes searching for a contact, using the, in the search, you could do a dictation, find a name, but you could also use what's called this little search index thing on the side. It's got all the numbers or letters from A to Z, and you could use that. We'll go over that a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so let's get into that. So let me get my phone, and I'm going to close Bard. And the way you get to contacts very easily is just tell Siri to open them. So I'm gonna go, hey Siri, open contacts.
Contacts, groups, button.
So using the gestures that I specified to you guys in the past, and I can redo the gestures again if you want, if you need them in the set of notes I'm going to publish after this. Your biggest gestures are going to be your single finger swiping left to right, right to left, your explore by touch by dragging the finger on the screen, and a few others. So I'm going to employ those to get to where I need. So I know that the search bar is going to be towards the top. I don't know exactly where because I'm not looking at it, but my finger will let me know. So if I put the finger on the screen anywhere, it's going to tell me what's under it.
Air tropics.
Air tropics. So come on.
Achilles conference A. Manny Celis. Search. Search field.
Search field.
Double tap to edit.
Let's say I want to pick on somebody like Lupita maybe. So if I want to search for Lupita, I'll just
search.
Double tap in the search field.
Search field. Search field.
And I'll dictate her name. Hopefully it'll do it right. Let me see. So I'm going to do a 2-finger double tap to begin dictation. And then when I'm done, I'll do another 2-finger double tap to end dictation. So I'll do that now. Lupita.
Inserted Lupita.
So I'm still on the field where I was searching, but the search results are always displayed below the field. So I've got to do a left to right swipe to get to those search results, see who in my contacts has the name Lupita. So I'm going to go over.
Clear text. Cancel. But search results. Top name Lupita Hernandez.
And there she is. If I wanted to pull up her contact information, that's how I would get to it. And when you're done searching and whatnot, you want to get back to the original screen, there's going to be a cancel button up top. So you could go the other way, right to left swipe with a single finger. So we can do that.
Top name matches. Cancel.
Cancel.
Button.
So
Group.
we're
Button.
back. Now, if you wanted to search by a letter, on the very right side along the edge with the phone facing in portrait mode, okay, and the home button at the bottom, if I put my finger on the screen and I drag it over to the right side, you're going to hear this thing called search index. Okay, so here we go.
Achilles conference number. Section index.
Oh, section index,
adjustable.
excuse me. So once you get to
Swipe up or
section,
down with one finger to adjust a value.
yeah, what she said. So when you get on section index, you can swipe up or down with one finger to go to the next letter or the previous letter, and the display will automatically reflect where you're at. So here I'm gonna do it. You can hear what it does. Okay, I'm gonna do a swipe down with one finger. So I'm gonna do that. B.
Selected. C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L.
Okay.
Selected.
Now I don't have to do anything else but just move away from the section index over to the left of it, and I'll be in the L's.
Lee Schnebley.
Okay. And
Lois Kutowski. Lorena Luna.
so all the L's are there. And if I want to go back up, I just do the exact opposite. I go back to the section index.
Lois Kutowski. Section index.
And I
adjustable.
flick the other way.
Swipe up or down with K, J, I, H, G, F.
And that's an easy way to get to contacts where if you're not sure of the spelling, but you know the first letter is whatever this is, and then you can get there doing that. So I guess the other thing we want to do is we want to create a contact. Now, there are a few ways to create a contact. We can do one manually, or if you had a phone call and you want to add that person's phone number to your list, you can do it from a phone call. And I would suggest on each of your contacts that you create, whether you do them manually or whether you do them from, a phone call, try to at least have the phone number and an email in there if you can. If not, then the phone number will suffice. But an email gives you more options as far as communicating with them. Because with an email, you can FaceTime them, you can send them email, and it just opens up a little more a few more options for contacting them, handy options as well. So if we were going to add one manually, we're going to go to the front door of contacts, which is where we should be, because that's where all the names are in your contacts. We got to find this button called Add. Okay, it's going to be at the top somewhere. So I'm gonna do a single finger export by touch. So I'm going to drag it on the screen. So
Gina, Sean, Steve, Fran, F, search field, dictate, add, button.
Top right. It's if you're visual, it's a little plus button, and it will say add. VoiceOver will say add. So we're going to double tap on that.
Text field is editing. First name. Insertion point at start.
All right. So I'm gonna create a fake contact. It puts you right on the first name. We're ready to go. I'm ready to dictate the first name. I'm going to do that now. Okay. So the first name is going to be, I'm going to do 2 fingers, double tap, say the first name, then double tap with 2 fingers again to end dictation. So I'm going to do that. Bozo.
Inserted Bozo.
So first name's Bozo. Now we're going to go to the last name.
Clear text button.
Clear text allows you to clear that Bozo that I just put in over the first name real quick without having to do deletes. So I'm going to keep swiping left to right with 1 finger to get to the last name field.
Last name, text field.
Now I'm on the text
Double
field.
tap to edit.
Yeah. So I'm going to double tap to edit, and then I can dictate the last name. So I'm going to double tap.
Insertion point at end.
Then we're going to do the 2 finger double tap to begin dictation. I'm going to say the last name and then 2 finger double tap to end dictation. So I'm going to go the clown.
Inserted the clown.
So far the information I've specified in the contact, first name,
Bozo. Last name, text field is editing. The clown.
So I got the
Character
clown.
mode.
So now I'm gonna, what's that? I didn't hear that. Okay. So The minimum you need to put in is the phone number, obviously. You don't have to put a phone number in. You could save it, but I'd recommend it.
Clear text. Company. Text
So
field.
no company name.
Add phone. Button.
Now we're on a button called Add Phone. So when I double tap that button,
Add text field. Is editing. Phone.
you get a numeric.
Insertion pointed.
You get a numeric keypad. So I'm just going to put some number in there. I don't know.
5, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And once you get the number in, you just go find the save or done button. Very top.
Last name, first name.
Drag your finger.
Button.
Done button.
Edit. Contacts. Contacts. Back button.
Now I got a new contact name. Goes over that. So, and that's one way to do it manually. Now, if I had a recent call, we can do it there as well.
Manny? Manny?
Oh, yeah.
This is your baby, but I thought you might want to talk about, like, if you swiped left after putting that number in, it would give you options to designate it as mobile, home, school, work.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right, John. Absolutely.
Yeah,
So-
I think they should know that. I
Yes.
think, especially for texting purposes, you need to label
Yes.
that.
Very good point, John. Thank you. I didn't have it in my notes, and I'll have to update those for the publish.
Annie, can you tell us where the email is too?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So where I was at in context, you remember I put in the first name and then the last name, and then I went down to the button to add the phone. To answer John, there is a tag for each number you put in there, and you can call it mobile, you can call it home, call it iPhone. You can even give it a custom name. And I would recommend doing that. John is absolutely right. You want to make sure you distinguish the number so you know that you're not calling a landline or trying to text a landline. You want to text a landline. And then to Barbara's concern, below the add phone button, remember we put the first name, last name, company, add phone. Below that, there's going to be another button called add email. And you double tap on that, and then you can fill in their email address. It'll be something, something at something dot whatever. You put that in, and then you hit done. Then you'll have both a phone number, the tag for the phone number, which is important, and then of course the email. And you can also tag the email. The email could be their home email, the email could be a work email, it could be something else. But yes, very important. Thank you, John and Barbara. That's really important. Any questions on adding them manually? Because then we'll go to adding them from a phone number if you want to try that. Okay.
Did you mention that the to put in a group, that would be like put for work, or say Achilles group, so you can find all your contacts that are with Achilles or ATB?
I'm a fan of putting all the numbers for a person or organization. Let's say like ACB, that's a good example, okay, or Achilles. If there are multiple phone numbers, I would put them all under ACB or Achilles. You know, I wouldn't have an ACB home and then another entry, another contact called ACB, this or that. I'd put them all under one, and then when you tell Siri to call, you would say call ACB mobile or ACB home.
Well, what I mean was, say like there are, say for work, where you have many people at your work, and instead of looking through all your contacts for that person, you can go to, say, your work group list contacts, and then you see all the names for that, that are at your work. Or
oh, you're talking about adding contact groups. Yeah, that's a little more advanced, but yes, you can group contacts into, well, groups and give them a name. Yes.
can you show us how to do that if we have time? Because I'd like to group my contacts, I guess, so I can find them easily and associate them with who they are. Kind of, these are with Achilles, these are with ACB, and these are with CR or with work or school.
All right. Well, let me show everyone how to do one from a recent call. Let's say you get a recent call and you want to add that to your contacts, but you want to type the number. You just want to take that number and stick it into a new contact. So the way you do that is you open the phone app. Okay, so I'm going to do that because that's where your recent call history is. So we're going to do that first. So, hey Siri, open phone.
Phone.
Now on the bottom of phone, you got tabs. I won't explain them all, but the one you want is recents. So it's going to be tab number 2.
Go to your account and settings. Tap share my location and select the device file.
So
That goes-
recents, we have it there, okay? And there's just a big list of all of your incoming and outgoing calls, your missed calls, they're all there. And they're in order by descending date and time. So I'm just gonna put my finger on the list somewhere and then we can just find one that we wanna add. Let's see.
Contacts. Sun Van. Aileen Hurtado. +1 3 3 7.
So let's say I wanna add that one. So what I would do is I would use my single finger swipe up or down to go to that rotor context menu, and you're going to go to more. So we're going to do that now. Try to do this.
More info.
Oh, more info. There we go. Now there's other things too. We can go through those.
Delete.
Delete,
Activate.
activate.
More info.
So more info is what we want.
Delete.
Delete removes it.
Activate.
Activate calls them.
Default. More info.
We'll go to more info.
+1 3 3 7 8 5.
So what I'm going to do, left to right swipe on the screen until I get down to add new contact or create new. I don't forget what it's called, but you'll hear it. I'm going to do that now.
Young's message, call, video, mail, pay, today, 9 share create new contact.
Create new contact. And that's how you do it. You double tap that, you'll get a new contact form, and all you got to do is put in the name associated with that number you're adding, and then you're done. And of course, again, like John said, you may want to go to the phone tag and give it the correct phone tag. It may just put home as default. So you want to update that too. But that's all in the contact form, and you would just cycle through all the information that you want to specify for the new contact and be sure it's as complete as possible. And it's important that you specify as much as you can for each contact because, you know, phone number, of course, email, sure. But, you know, even their street address, if you ever want to go to their house and you need to get there, you can find their place via GPS. If you put their birthday in, your calendar will automatically remind you when their birthday's coming up, and you can get them a gift or just ignore it, whatever you like. And then there's other fields in your notes and whatnot. There's a lot of different fields that you can specify. But the more information you have, the better off you are. You can do more things. But at least put in the phone number and an email. I think those are the very minimums that you should have in there. So yeah, that's how you do it from a phone call. So what I was going to do next, so if you want to edit a contact, let's say, we'll start from beginning again. So I'm going to close this phone app and the other apps. I'm going to do that now.
App switcher, phone, active.
I'm going to the app switcher and I'm going to
Swipe
just,
up with 3 fingers to close the app.
I'm going to do that.
Swipe up or down app switcher, barred mobile, closing barred mobile calendar.
All right. So now I'm going to tell it to open contacts again, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to edit a contact. So I'm going to say, hey Siri, open contacts.
Contacts, groups.
Now the one we want to edit will be Bozo's guy. So I know it's in the B's, but I know that when it first comes up, it's going to be in the A's. And I have a lot of people in my under the A. So I'm going to go to that section index and go to B. So I'm going to drag my finger across the screen.
Achilles conference number. Section index, adjustable.
And I'm going to do a swipe down with one finger.
Swipe up or down with 1 B. Selected.
Then I'm going to come over to away from the section index to the middle of the screen.
Barbara McPherson.
Okay, I'm going to keep going.
Barbara Patterson. Irma Bartley. Camille Bauman. Be Cleaning Authority. Bella Thomas Nails. Betty Ann Kaminsky. Bill Cooper. Blind Shell Phone. Bobby Young. Breda. C.
Where's Bozo?
Breda. Bobby Young. Blind Shell Phone. Bill Cooper.
Well, he might be under the clown, so I'm going to have to go to T's now. So, oops, let me try that.
Bobby Young. Section index.
So I'm going to go down to the T's.
Adjustable. C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R S T. Select Mitzi Theron. Bozo the Cloud.
There it is. So mine is listed by last name. That's why it's far down the list. And you can adjust that in settings, by the way. So if I want to edit Bozo the Clown, I'm going to double tap on Bozo the Clown.
Bozo the Clown.
Now the next screen that comes up for Bozo the Clown isn't the where you're editing. It's just showing you kind of like their contact card. Like, remember the old Rolodexes where you're rolling through it and you see the little card? Well, we're on it now. And then we're going to pull the card out in a second and we're going to edit it. So that's what we're going to do next. And the way you edit this is there's an edit button at the very top. And I'm just going to use my finger and I'm going to drag it on the screen to the top till I find that edit button. Now, once you become familiar with these screens like contacts, Bard, and all that, you're going to know where these controls are at, and it's going to be second nature to you. You won't be looking for these things because they're always going to be in the same spot. So I'm going to do that now.
Video. Message. Bozo the Cloud. Edit. Button.
Edit button.
Done.
So now I'm editing the contact card, okay? First I found that Bozo in the list, then I opened up the card just to see it. Now I'm editing it. There's like 3 things there, just so you know. So let's say I want to change something like John said, I'll change the label for the phone, okay? So left to right swipe until I get to that place, or I can drag my finger. I'm just going to show you with left to right swipes how you navigate. So left to right.
Add photo. First name. Bozo. Text. Last name. The Clown Company. Text. Mobile.
So mobile button.
Activate to choose.
That's what John was talking about. So it added mobile. It put mobile as a default tag for that phone number I put in. But you can change that. If you double tap that, you get a whole list of tags. Let's say I want to change it to something else.
Button selected. Mobile. Home. Work. School. iPhone.
Let's call it iPhone. I don't know. We'll just do that. And then to save that change, same as before, you go to the upper right of the screen and there's a done or a save button. Well, we'll find it either way. And I just drag my finger on the screen until I get there. So
first name. Add actions of done. Button.
Done button.
Edit.
And that's how you edit a contact. And you can edit any field in that contact. There's lots of information you can edit. We're scratching the tip of the iceberg here. So we did that. So now, what if you're no longer friends with Bozo the Clown? Let's say, I don't like this guy. You better not call me ever again. Well, you can do that too. You can block him. So like you would editing, you find him, you open up the contact card, you hit edit. Once you're in editing, you can block Bozo or whoever your Bozo is. So
iPhone 520.
So what I'm going to do, let me go back one so we go from soup to nuts how to block somebody, because I know where I'm at, but you guys might have gotten lost a little bit. Let me just go back.
Contacts. Got contact.
All right. So now we're back in the front door contacts, and I'm on the Bozo the Clown entry. So right.
Bozo the Clown.
Okay. Now I want to block that guy. I don't want to like delete him yet. He's not that bad, but I'm getting annoyed with this call. So I want to block him. So let's do that.
Bozo the Clown.
So we're going to find the edit
Actions
button.
available. Edit. Button. Done. Dimmed. 5.
Now at the very bottom of the contact editing screen, there's going to be a thing called block. So I'm going to do a 3-finger swipe up to scroll down to the bottom of the screen. So that's what I'm doing now.
5. Rows 4 to 11 of 19. Rows 13 to 19. Linked contact. Delete contact. Vertical scroll. Verticals. Delete contact. Link contacts. Linked contact. Add field.
You know what? I can't block this guy, but I can delete him. That was so I'm going to have to show you how to block somebody with a real call. I guess you have to do it from a call and not somebody you just created. So sorry about that. I'll just show you how to delete him, and then I'm going to show you how you block a call. So that's a different thing. I thought you could just do it, but I was wrong. So if we go down to the bottom, the option here is to delete Bozo.
Delete contact.
And if I do that, it'll remove Bozo from my list. So let's do that.
Delete contact. Delete. Delete.
I'm buying Bozo.
Button.
And then you get a confirmation saying you sure you want to delete Bozo. And where is that?
Delete contact. But cancel.
You delete or
Button.
cancel.
Delete contact. Tom Danger.
Okay, now I'm going to show you how you block a call. That has to be, I guess it has to originate from a call you received, not from a contact I created. So like I said, I was wrong there. So the way you do that is you go into your call list and we're going to find a number that we want to block. Okay, so I'm going to close this up.
App switcher. Contact.
So I'm going to go in the phone app. So I'm going to go, hey Siri. Hey Siri. Open phone. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to recents.
Tab bar. Selected. Recent.
That's tab number 2 at the bottom.
2 of 5. Selected.
Now we're going to find somebody we want to block.
Tap contacts. Keypad. Voicemail. Voicemail. Plus.
There we go.
1,
That one.
3, 3, 7.
So if I want to block that guy, that number,
Plus. 1.
I'm going to swipe up like I did before to get that rotor context menu. We're going to go to more info. Okay. So I'm going to do that.
More info.
More info.
Plus 1. 3, 3, 7, 8, 5. Share rows 1 to 7 of block this caller.
So once I do that, a screen comes up and we got to scroll all the way to the bottom using a 3-finger swipe up. Okay.
Rows 1 to 7 of 7.
So we got 1 page worth of stuff, 7 rows. At the very bottom is
block this caller.
Block this caller. And if I go ahead and double tap that, I'm going to get a confirmation screen.
Block the. You will not receive phone calls, messages, or FaceTime from people on the block list.
So if I were to go ahead and say yes, which is this option,
block contact.
Block contact. It would actually do what it says. It would reject
So
anything.
then March it won't be dark out.
I'm sorry. Oh, so that is what it would do. And you can also cancel as well.
Cancel button.
Of course, then that just doesn't do anything. It just doesn't block. So that was pretty much what I had for managing contacts. Is there anything that I'm missing or somebody is curious about that I could expand on, or should we continue to the next thing? Okay.
Manny, I thought that was really good.
Oh.
My only question is on blocking the phone call. Did you do a 3-finger swipe up to get to the bottom? Because you didn't do
That's
all
right.
that stuff.
That's right. That's exactly what I did. I don't know if I was going too fast, but yeah, that was right before I did the block. I did that 3-finger swipe up on the screen.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so that's it for contacts. Next part of my outline here.
Manny, sorry, I had a question about.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
When you block a contact, I guess, does it completely, when the person calls, does it say you are blocked, or does it tell you that they called kind of thing? Or?
No, you don't get once you block them, they don't come in. The phone itself rejects them, yeah.
Okay, and then you unblock them the same way as you blocked them?
Yes, that's right. And I think there's a way to all your blocked numbers. I don't remember, but there's a way to go view all your blocked guys and you can unblock them. Because it has to maintain a list to know which ones to block. So you can definitely go and toggle that off if you want to.
Yeah, okay.
And that works for, you can block people who call you. You can also block people who text message you as well. Like if you get a text message, the same kind of thing, you go to more info, block, then that person who's texting you can no longer text you.
Okay.
So it's a really powerful thing. It's kind of like whack-a-mole with some of these people who are calling. You know, lately we've been getting a lot of spam risk and telemarketers trying to come in, and that's really dangerous because if you respond to the wrong one, you could potentially, compromise your information and they put like a puzzle together. You give them a piece of information here, they get another from over there, and sooner or later, they breach your data, and you don't want to give them any information that you don't have to. And blocking them is a good, there's good news though. A lot of these carriers like AT&T, they're now marking potential spam risk and potential telemarketers, which is really cool, because now if they're a known spam risk or a telemarketer or something of that nature, they mark it for me. I don't even answer it. I don't even, it just goes away. So that's kind of good.
I'm sure that'd be pretty good, because I think it's kind of common to get calls from like the IRS or Social Security saying, trillions of dollars immediately, or you're going to go to jail for 3 life. Or something like that.
I've received every call imaginable, and it just makes me laugh at the tactics they use. And
recently, since I lost my vision, I'm overdue on my car insurance. So.
No, they're hilarious, and some of them are a little more benign. They're just trying to sell you something, but a lot of them aren't.
Manny,
Yes.
it's Tom.
Hi, Tom.
If you block my number and I call you, will it show that I've been blocked, or what kind of response do I get?
You won't show up on my history. If I block you when you call me, you won't show up on my history. You may go to voicemail, but it's kind of cool, because what happens, since the phone knows who's blocked and who's not, if you leave a voicemail, it automatically goes to this blocked messages area. So
I don't get any feedback that you blocked me.
Well, no. I mean, it would look to you like I'm just not calling you back. I'm just kind of a rude person, which I am actually. But but you know what I mean. Yeah.
So if I called you and you blocked me, the phone would ring like normal, and then it would just go to voicemail, but you would never get a response.
No, it wouldn't ring. What would happen is the phone knows not to. See, the phone is a computer. Okay. If I put Tark or Tom on my block list, as a computer, it knows I don't want anything to do with this person. So you may think that you're leaving me a message, but it's not ringing on my side. And the message that you're leaving is going into a special bucket called blocked senders or blocked callers, whatever they call it. And only you would have to go in there to look into that bucket to see if they're there. Then they get deleted automatically after like 30 days.
But
I would not know.
Blocked callers can still leave a voicemail?
Yes, because what's happening with that is that when you block a caller, you're blocking it with your phone. Your service doesn't know you blocked them. The service is just doing what it's supposed to do. It's taking it's actually recording the voicemail up there. When your phone gets the voicemail, it says, "Oh, this is on the blocked senders list." But he doesn't want that. So
yeah. Okay. So I'll know if you block me, Manny. So don't try it, huh?
Yeah.
You put some cool message that says you've been blocked.
Yeah. So it's very important, security, keeping your information as private as possible. I know in this day and age, it's really hard to do that. But the less you give out, the better off you are. And if it's somebody you trust or somebody that you're doing business with, you have a relationship with, no problem. But even then, just be careful. But anybody who calls that you don't know, just delete it. Don't even do anything. Just get it out of there as soon as possible. And you'll stay safe. That's my opinion. So, okay, I think we got done with blocking. Is there any more questions on blocking, or are we okay? Okay. Now for a fun one. Who out there likes to call Uber and Lyft?
I do.
All right, so for those professionals out there, you can take a break. I'm just going to go over Uber and Lyft, the ride services that we value so much and that I use all the time. So I'm sure most of you know what Uber and Lyft are. They're just ride services. You hail them like a cab, and then they take you to your destination, and hopefully all is good. So what I wanted to do was go over how you book a ride. You know, give you an example of me booking a ride. Of course, I'm not going to book it because I want to be here for the end of the meeting. So, so Uber and Lyft, they're synonymous, okay? They're just two different companies. You fill out the stuff exactly the same way, okay? And the pieces of information that you give them are, where are you going, okay? What kind of vehicle do you want? And then there's other options. And then where are they picking you up from? Okay. And you got to be sure those three pieces of information are accurate, because it does affect the pricing, and it affects, you know, if you're going to get a successful pickup. Like if you say you're in one place but you're actually in another, that car is going to show up to the place that the phone says you're at. So you always got to double check that information to be sure it's accurate. And I'm gonna show you that when I book a ride. So I'm gonna go to Uber and I'm going to try to book a ride, but I'm not going to complete the task. I'm gonna get it right to the end and then I'm gonna stop. So Uber is available on the App Store. If you don't have it, just go to the App Store and type in UBER, and there will be an app called Uber there. It's like a black icon if you got vision with a little white, but I think it's just called Uber. And that will install the app on your phone, and then you can then create an account with them, because of course they're going to bill a card. You know, they don't bill you later or send you a regular paper mail. They bill your card. So you gotta set up an account with them. That's probably the hardest part of Uber. So I got one already, so we don't have to do that. So let's go in there.
720, try again. Button.
Okie doke.
Phone.
I'm gonna close phone.
Back button. Cap. App switch. Phone. Closing phone.
So just like any other app, you always, if you can, just use Siri to open it. It's so much easier than looking for it. So I'm gonna do that. Hey Siri. Open Uber. And Uber comes up, does a little dance.
Button.
Sometimes you get these little screens that come up that have their new policies: wear a mask, don't wear a mask, you know, put a mask on your dog, whatever they're saying. So go here.
Rate your trip and thank Jose with a tip.
Oh, guess I didn't tip the last guy. Okay.
Tuesday to 8,200. Button.
Oops.
5 stars. Button.
All right, Jose.
Select.
I gave you 5.
Close. Done. Button.
All right.
Menu. Button.
All right, let's start this again. So pretend I just got into it. In fact, I'll do it again because that was bad. Okay.
App switcher. Uber. Cap.
All right.
Facebook.
Take 2. Hey Siri. Open Uber.
Uber. Menu. Button.
Okay, so when Uber comes up, let's see what it says. You know, you can always, if you don't know what the screen says, you can interrogate it like we spoke before about Safari and VoiceOver a few lessons back. You can always do a 2-finger swipe up or down. I'm not going to bore you with all the screen details because I use the app a lot. I'm just going to go right to it. But if you don't know what it says, you know, find out. Just, you know, go through the screen, or have it read the screen, or whatever you're going to do. So let's see what it says here.
Suggest a destination. 88N Rayburn PL. Ride. Button. Learn more. Button. Shem. Rock your mask. Luck might be with you today, but we still require suggest a destination. 88N Rayburn PL.
So let's say I'm going to go to that one.
Arizona. But
I'm going to go to that. That's a very secret address. I'm going to go there.
back. Button.
Once I select where I'm going to, remember what I was talking about before? You need a couple pieces of information. Where are you going? So you make sure that you got the address, and then make sure it's in your town, that it's not some other town that has the same address, because that'll be a huge fare. So the next thing it's going to present to you is the kind of car you want. It should automatically select the cheapest option. So let's look at the ride types that they have. So if I go in here, I'll find it. Let me see.
Selected. UberX. Fare $7.87.
So UberX And Lyft will have a similar one. It's their three-person ride or whatever it is, up to 3 people. Okay, I think 3 or 4. I don't remember. With COVID, they changed it a little bit, but it's the smallest car, the cheapest ride. And the second one,
Uber XL, fare $11.72. Estimated drop off.
now the difference between that and the first one, XL, is you can pack more people in, like 6 or 7 or whatever. That's usually like a minivan or some bigger, like an SUV. And then we'll keep going.
Comfort, fare $9.80.
That's like a very comfortable car, you know, very nice riding car, big car. And then I don't know what the rest of them are. We can go through them.
Payment profile.
Okay.
Personal.
So then it shows you payment profile. We keep going down.
Payment method. No cars available. Button.
So right now, it's real busy out there. There's no cars available. We're going to keep going anyway. Usually it'll say select Uber X or Comfort or XL. So we're going to select the X because that's the one we're on, the very first one.
No cars available. But
And-
confirm pickup location.
And then the
screen.
final thing that you have to do on these apps is confirm where you are at. And this is very important because you want to make sure that they're going to pick you up. Because if you're even just 20 feet off, they'll be somewhere else instead of where you're at. Let's say you're at Sprouts. Okay, you're at Sprouts on Pantano and Broadway, and the address it finds is around the corner somewhere. That ride will go around the corner and you'll be at Sprouts waiting, and then they will leave and charge you $5 for the inconvenience of not picking you up. So it's very important you verify this information. Did someone say something? I'm sorry.
Manny, it's now $6 and something for cancellation.
There you go. So that even more of a reason to make sure it's it's a ride sharing service. They're completely automated, and the drivers they're not really motivated to go looking for you if you put the wrong address in. So that
Is it paid by the,
what's
sorry,
that?
do you pay by the mile, or is it just that one round trip?
I don't know how their rate structures work, but I think there is a initial cost for just starting the whole process. Then there's a time component and a mileage component. So if you're in busy traffic and the driver is waiting a long time in traffic, that is a component of the cost of the ride. The numbers that you get, like $7, $9, those are estimations in normal traffic conditions. So if they take extremely long to do this, it may cost more. Just all depends.
There's also a booking fee.
Yeah, that's rolled up in, you're not going to get a ride for less than like $5. I think $5 is where it starts. Yeah. And then it goes up to that. So on step 3 of this, so we told it where we wanted to go, okay, and then we've picked the car. Now we're going to make sure that they know where I'm at to pick me up. So this thing should zero in on my home. So let's see, because I'm home. So let's see here. And I'm going to put my finger down here to find where that address is. So it should be down at the bottom.
Confirm your pickup spot. Heading. Selected pickup location. 8219 Arbor Point PL. Tucson.
So that's my home. So if I were to go to the next button,
Confirm pickup.
confirm pickup, now you're booked. And the first available driver will come pick you up. Now I can't press that because then I book a ride, but what happens after that, you're going to get an ETA from your driver. And it could be anywhere from just a few minutes to, not available. They may even cancel it after a long period of time. I've seen that happen. But typically you're talking about 5 to 10 minutes, typically, and they'll be at your door. And it's not like Sunvan, okay? You've got to be out there waiting for them. They're not going to come out of the car and get you. So you got to be sure that you give yourself enough time to get out to where they can pick you up at the road, wherever the road is, where you're at. Very important. And what happens if you don't, like Nancy said, they'll charge you a fee for you not showing up. They'll say that you didn't show up, and they'll collect their $6 or whatever. Now you can cancel the ride too. If you cancel before they are en route to your house, they'll just not charge you anything. But if they're almost at your house and you cancel, they're going to charge you a fee because that driver has taken time to come to you. So just be aware of all that when you're doing these things. And canceling a ride is usually after you book it, you'll get a thing called edit ride. And then one of those things is to cancel, and it'll confirm it. You sure you want to cancel? And it might even tell you it's going to cost you $4 to cancel or whatever it is because the driver is already en route, or they won't charge you a thing. It just depends on the situation. So, and that's kind of the long and short of the Uber Lyft thing. Any questions on that, or are we pretty good on that?
Manny, you want to do the Walmart one? That was interesting.
Yeah, we could try that. I was going to do fries. Would that be okay?
Oh, we eat whichever one, but that was interesting how it comes up with the different locations.
Yeah, I have fries in the list further, a little bit further down. Would that be okay to come to that? Or you want me to just pull it now and do that one now?
No.
Okay. All right. So let me get to my next one. Let's see here. Batter up. Okay. So does everybody use email? Or is that a dumb question? So it's a dumb question. I like that. That's great. Okay. So does everybody know how to reply and forward, reply all? Is that something that you guys have been doing without problems?
App switch Uber. App closing Uber.
All right. Well, I'm going to show you how to do that. So first, let's talk about what these terms are. So if you want to reply to somebody, just like the word says, you're going to reply. You're going. If Tark sends me an email and I want to reply to him, I would send one back. A reply, all the reply does, it says, I'm going to send an email back to the sender, in this case, Tark. And then I would just fill in what I want to say, hit send, Tark gets the message, and we're good. If I wanted to take Tark's message, and let's say I wanted to send it to Barbara, okay, but I don't want to do anything with it. I just want to give it to her. That's called forwarding. And you could forward with comments. You could go in and put some comments in and then forward it on. But that's the difference between reply and forwarding. And of course, the last little caveat is reply all. So let's say that Tark sent me an email and he put Patty on there and a few other people, okay? And if I want to reply all, like to Tark, it would reply to him, it would reply to Patty, and everybody else that's CC'd on the email. That's the reply all option. So that's the difference between those. And the way you reply to an email, there's two ways. If you're in the inbox and you see the list of emails, you know, from this person, from that person, boom, 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 you do that single finger swipe up or down to get to that rotor context menu, and there's going to be a reply option. So I'm gonna do an example of that right now. Okay, so let me go into my mail.
7:40. Try again. Button.
Okay.
Calendar.
So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open mail. So Siri. Hey Siri. Open mail.
Mail. Mailboxes. Back unread. Amazon.com.
So let's say I want to reply to Amazon. I'm not going to do that because they're not going to even listen to my reply. But I'm going to go in and I'm going to do that single finger swipe up or down to hit that menu like I just stated. So we're going to do that again.
Delete.
Delete.
More.
Flag.
Mark as read.
Archive.
Activate. Archive. Mark as read. Flag. More.
So we'll go to more.
Amazon.com. Order confirmation. Heading.
So in more, I have a dialog that says, what do you want to do? Okay. And here are the options. So I got to go left to right swipe in this little more dialog. I'm going to do that.
Close. Button.
So I can close the dialog. I'm done. I don't want to do anything. Okay.
Reply.
I can reply to just the sender, in this case, Amazon. Okay.
Reply all.
I can reply all. Let's say there's multiple people on this email, not just me and Amazon. There's a few others. I would reply to everybody.
Forward.
And then forward is the other option. And if I do that, I would double tap on one of those. It'll put me into, if I'm forwarding, it'll put me on the to field to the person I want to forward it to. And I'd have to type in their address or start typing their address and pull their name out of the suggested list. If I'm going to reply, it already puts the address in because I'm replying to the sender, and then you're going to be put into the body, and then you can dictate your message and then hit send. And that's the way that works. Now, the other way to reply to a message is you can go into the message and read it first. And at the very bottom, you have the same options. So let's do it that way.
Close. Button.
Now remember,
Mailboxes.
the method I just showed you was from the inbox without even opening the message. Now I'm going to open the message from Amazon. I'm going to swipe down to the bottom of the message, find that more thing, and the same thing occurs. So I want to do that now. Let's see.
Amazon.com.
Open it up.
Your Amazon.select.
Okay. Now I'm going to use.
Link. Hello, Manuel.
I'm going to use 3 fingers and swipe to the bottom.
Page 2 of 2.
2 of 2. And at the very bottom on this toolbar at the bottom, you got 4 items. The one we're interested in is item number 3, I think.
Toolbar. Move. But more actions.
More actions.
More actions.
And again,
Amazon.com.
just like we had before, you got the same guys. You got reply.
Reply all. Forward.
And forward. And then you have
archive message.
Well, there's more. You can archive message, do a couple but the reply and forward are the things that we were worried about. And that's how you do it in the message. Okay. And that's what I have for
close button.
Replying to emails.
Amazon. Link.
Go back.
All inboxes. All in.
Now, the other thing about email that I wanted to go over here. So has anyone ever worked with folders, like box folders that you create so you can store mail in for a long time? Let's say you, in this world of electronic receipts, you want to create a folder called receipts, and you buy something kind of expensive like a washer and dryer from the Home Depot, and they give you an electronic receipt. Well, you might want to store that in a folder somewhere called receipts. Then you can always look at all your receipts for your big purchases. And that's what folders are for. You can take an email, usually from your inbox, and you can move it to a folder. So I wanted to show you guys how to do that. It's very good to have folders to keep this kind of information that you need for the future. And it could be anything. It could be anything that you want to hang on to, stuff you don't want to delete, you want to hang on to, but you don't want to keep it in your inbox, keeping your inbox really full. You could then file those in their own little folders on your phone. So
is that like organizing flag messages in certain folders?
That's kind of, yeah. The analogy would be like paperwork in a file cabinet. You know, you got a bunch of paperwork on your desk and you want to file it. Some you're going to throw in the trash, some you're going to keep on your desk, and the stuff we're talking about, we're going to put in file folders for later when you need to retrieve it. And that's what these folders do.
When you delete an email in your inbox, does it delete from your flag messages in your folder?
It will delete and put it into the trash. So yes, the answer is yes. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And then once you pull it out of the trash and delete it from there, then it's gone. So
yeah.
So your trash is like your recycle bin, and it gives you one last look before you deep six it. Okay. All right. So folders. So let's go back into mail.
Unread. Anshay. Amazon.com.
So Amazon.com. We're going to pick on them today. So I want to move Amazon.com. Let's say that's a receipt for something I bought. Okay. And I want to keep that one. I don't want to delete it. So I want to move it to, I got a thing called receipts. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to show you how to, so one finger swipe up again, to get to that rotor context menu.
Delete. More. Flag. Mark is unread. Archive. Activate. Delete. More.
So it's going to be under more, okay? So instead of what we talked about earlier about the reply and all that,
Reply forward.
there's going to be an option down there called move message, I hope.
Archive message. Flag. Mark is unread. Move message.
Move message. So I'm going to do that now. If I double tap on move message, then I get a list of all the boxes in my email account. So I'm gonna look for receipts.
Junk. Trash. All mail. Gmail. Important. Starred. Gmail. Deleted. Draft. Junk. Junkie. Legal. Outbox. Personal. Receipts.
Receipts.
13 unread messages.
So if I double tap on receipts, that email will be moved from my inbox right into receipts, and it'll stay there until I remove it from receipts. And these are and like I said, these are the emails that you want to keep just in case of some reason, whether it's a financial thing or whatever it is, whatever whatever value you place in that email to keep it out of the trash, so to speak. And that's how you move emails, and that's how you keep your inbox clean. Normally, what I do with email, and it's up to each person their own. My inbox is for stuff that's come in that's still pending. Things that I've dealt with that I want to keep, I move to the respective box, or I delete them, put them in trash, and it always stays clean. That might be something if you're wondering how to maybe manage a big monster email box, like an inbox, that might be a way to do it. So yeah, that's what I got for email. So any questions thus far on email, replying, anything? All right. Is everybody on information overload yet? I'll take that as a yes. Okay. So the next one is what Barbara wanted me to do, which is the Fry's food delivery. That's another one like Uber that's really popular with us because it really saves us time and a lot of hassle to get groceries to our home. Now, does anybody out there use a service like that, like Fry's or Sprouts or Walmart to order?
Walmart.
Okay. And how do you like it? Is it working well for you?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Well, I'm going to explain how to use the Fry's guide because that's the one I use to get groceries. So what it is Fry's is its own thing. Kroger owns Fry's. Fry's is its own store. But the people who get your food for you and then check out with your food and then bring it to you, that's Instacart, and that is who Fry's is subbing out to do this service for you. And typically Instacart will charge $10 plus whatever tip you want to add to do this. And you think, well, that's kind of expensive, but when you think about it, it saves you the cost of going up there and then going and finding all those items with low vision or no vision, and then checking out and then getting right back. It's almost a bargain for us if you really think about it. But like anything else, everything costs. But I've had good success with this thus far, and I think if you're looking to get into this, Fry's is a pretty good one. I don't know about all the rest. I only have a few on my phone, but I think Fry's works very well. So that's what they do. So the biggest part of using these kind of apps, it can be Fry's, it can be Walmart, it can be anybody, is setting up your account. Okay, that's always a bear to do, and the reason is because we're talking about trusting them with your card, your credit card, your debit, or whatever it is you use to pay. So they go through a lot of checks and balances to be sure the address is right, your name, blah blah blah, your card number and expiration. But once you get all that set up and you get a profile set up, the rest is easy, and it's the same across all of them. All you have to do is get your account set up. You go and you start looking for things, and then you put them in your cart, and then you check out, and then they just deliver it. Well, a lot like Amazon, but on a local level, and immediate. So what I'm gonna do is
Tuesday, March 16th.
I'm
Friday.
gonna open up fries, and I'm gonna put a couple things in my basket, but I'm not gonna check out. We'll just go through the motions, kind of like what we did with Uber, where we did the ride, but we didn't actually book it. I'll put stuff in my basket, go all the way to checkout, and you can see the process. And then I won't actually place the order. So try that now. Let's see here.
Button.
Okay,
Mail.
I'm in mail.
Back.
So I'm gonna say, hey Siri, open fries.
Search products.
So Fries is a real good app because it puts you right on the search. It knows what you want to do. So let's say I want to add like maybe 2 items to the cart so you get a feel for what we're doing. So I want to add maybe some milk, right? So what I do is I double tap on the search that I'm already on, and then I dictate the word milk. So I'm going to do that, double tap, one finger.
Search products. Search products.
We do dictation like we did
Actions
before.
available.
So I'm going to double tap with 2 fingers. Milk.
Inserted milk. Search. Search.
And then what it does
Kroger.
is it shows you a bunch of products that are milk or milk related. Tries to put the most relevant one on top. So I'm just going to go to the top one and you can hear what it says. It kind of gives you a brief description of what it found. Okay.
Kroger registered vitamin D whole milk 1 quart. $1.39.
Okay. If I wanted that one, I would swipe left to right to the add to cart thing, which is going to be with that listing. So I'm going to keep going.
Add to list. Button. Add to cart. 0 in cart. Minimum value reached.
I'd add it to cart. I don't know what a list is. I think the list is something you put together and then you can check it all out later. I've never done the list, so that's probably a shortcoming on my part. I should have researched that before this class. But I'm sure it's just something that you're looking at or something that you want to put in your cart at some point in time. So if I want to add something to a cart, typically what they employ there is like a little spinner kind of control, and basically what it means is you flick up or down to change the quantity. So I'm going to do that. I'm on the add to cart. So if I flick up, let's see what it does. So let me do that.
1 in cart.
What if I want another one?
2 in cart. 3 in cart.
Okay, so I got 3 quarts in cart. Now, this is analogous to you being in the store. You just went to the milk section. You put 3 guys in your cart. Now we're going to look for something else. So we'll go up to the top.
Search products. Search products.
Let's do something different. So I'm going to clear my last search. So I go left to right swipe.
Done.
Oops,
But search products.
double tap.
Search products. Done. Button.
Where is it?
Search products. Search product. Search product. Done. Button. Search products.
All right, let me try it again.
Search product. Search products. Delete. Use the rotor to access misspelled.
Now I'm going to look for avocado. So I'm going to dictate avocado in there. See what happens. So avocado.
Inserted avocado. Search. Search. Avocado. Large 1 CT. $1.25. Pickup and delivery available.
Since I love avocados,
add to list. Add to cart.
I'm going to put a bunch in
0
there.
Cart. 1 in 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10.
11 avocados and 3 quarts of milk. That's a great party. Okay. Now, if I were to, let's say that's all I wanted. I would not recommend ordering this little. I mean, if you're going to pay $10 to pull it and a possible tip, you're probably going to want to order, $40-50 worth of stuff. Make it worth it. But let's just say I did that, and we're going to go down to the bottom. I don't know if I reached the bare minimum. We'll see. So let's go.
Done. Button.
So if I go, where is the button at?
Add to cart. Featured product. Happy Baby rows 3 to 6 of 58.
We go done.
Done. Button. Done. More menu. Button. Past purchases. Kroger Pay. More menu. Button. Search products. Within hours to 8,000. Enroll now to sign in. Enroll. Continue as get. Add. 2. Item out of stock.
All right.
Page 2 of 4. Page 1 of 4. Page 1 of 4.
I think I lied. I need to add more stuff. Hang on.
Search products. Search products.
It's too smart for me. So I'm going to add some expensive steaks.
Dictate.
Steak.
Inserted steak. Search. Search. Beef choice boneless ribeye steak. 1 steak. $10.74. Add to list. But add to cart. 1 in, 2 in, 3 in, 4 in, 5 in cart.
Put 5 of those in there. Okay. And then
Done. Vertical scroll bar. Done. But done. More menu. Start your cart. Page 2 of 4. Tab bar. 18.
so
18. Cart with 18 items.
so
Tab.
at the very bottom,
5 of 5.
I forgot how to get there. So at the very bottom, you have a tabbed navigation. Okay. At the very bottom right, there's your cart. So if we go there,
Cart with 18 items. Tab.
tap on that, and it's going to give you all of the items that you just added to your cart.
Beef choice boneless ribeye steak. 1 steak. $10.74. Add to cart. 4 in cart. Adjustable.
So when I'm done
Swipe
reviewing,
up or down with
when I'm done reviewing the cart, at the very bottom, there's going to be something like checkout or whatever it says. So let me get down there.
checkout
Yeah,
delivery.
checkout
Button.
delivery.
Checkout delivery. Button. Checkout delivery. Cancel. Button. Fee.
So now it's going to break down all the fees for you. Let's see what it says here.
Service fee is $9 fee.
Okay.
Service fee is $9.95.
Okay, that's the fee that Instacart's going to charge. Okay, to pull your stuff and get it to you. So that's $10 there.
Location. 8,219 change. Date and time.
Here is where you can schedule when you get it. Like by default, it's within 2 hours. If it's too late, it'll put it towards the next morning at some time. So my time right now,
Today, March 16th.
let's see,
Within 2 hours. Selected.
that's default. You can change that.
Required.
Let me see.
Unchecked. Unchecked. I
Manny,
grocery order.
don't they charge you more for 2 hours?
For fries, that's the default. So no, there's no extra charge. The fee that I quoted up above
Uh-huh.
is what Instacart will charge fries. And of course, fries will charge you or me. So that's what they charge to have somebody pull the stuff for you. So there's if there's a faster way, I don't know about it, but I assume if there was, they would charge you. But I
Yeah.
haven't seen it. But 2 hours is usually pretty good to pull, check out, and get it to you. That's pretty fast, actually. Think about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Okay. And then what you got to do is you got to agree to all their terms. So one of the things that they want you to agree to is substitutions, and that's very important because if I ordered, let's say, T-bone steak, 4 of them, and they're out, the shopper will contact you to say, hey, do you want these other steaks? They're ribeye. They cost about $2 more each. And you say, yeah, go ahead and do that. Your bill will then go up by that amount. Or
They actually call you? I'm sorry.
well, they
they
text you. Sorry.
Oh.
Sometimes they call, but usually they text, and they'll send you a picture of what they're thinking of substituting, and you say yay or nay.
Oh,
And
okay.
then now, if they're completely out of stuff and you don't like anything that they've suggested, they're only going to suggest 1 or 2 because they can't take a long time to do it. What they'll do is they'll just remove it from your list, and of course, then your bill will go down by that much. So they're trying to partner with you and getting you the correct stuff, and they're really good about that, especially the good ones. They really try hard, and if you order fruits and vegetables, they try to get good ones, not ones that are looking kind of, They try to make
Yeah.
sure you get good stuff. And then, so then you agree to their terms about pulling and delivering. And if you order alcohol, you got to put in your age and you got to show ID when they come to the door. So you order a 6-pack, you got to show them your ID. And then let
Page 3 of 5.
me see what else there.
You can now opt for your driver. Page 4 of 5.
Let's get down to just the normal stuff. It's going to verify your address and your phone number so they can contact you. That'll be on your profile. So that'll be there.
Page 5 of 5.
And then when you're done, you'll get a button that you can press, hopefully.
Continue. Dimmed. Button.
Now, when I hit continue, what's going to happen is it's going to give me one final screen, and then I hit, do it. And then they'll dispatch in Instacart to pull your stuff and then deliver your order. So I hope that's not too cloudy. Now, yeah, so are there any questions about that?
Yeah, Manny, where does the tip go and how much do you usually tip?
Oh, yes, very good. I forgot to say that. Absolutely. So the tip that, excuse me, that's calculated on your total, because the more items they got to pull, the more they got to do. So they usually do about a 10 or 15% tip. And when you're checking out, that'll be one of those things that you can specify. And then, of course, after they deliver, you can rate them and pull the tip or get a refund, or if they really messed up, which hasn't happened to me yet, luckily. But that's where you specify the tip, is when you're checking out. So
is it usually around $5 or?
Well, it's usually about 15%. So if it's a $50 order, you're talking about $8. Yeah. If you're ordering more than that, of course, it's that percentage. So I ordered I made one order where it was $70 for the order. Then they included the $9 charge for the picking it. So it was $80. And then of course you got tax, that's 9%. So by the time I got out the door, it was like $90-something. So it's not cheap, but it really saves you a big hassle going to the store. I do think it's worth it. Okay, if there's no more questions on Fry's food delivery, I'll continue on here. Let me see. Notifications. So how many people love notifications, love being bugged all the time? I take that as 0. So your phone tries hard to keep you informed about what's going on. If you miss a call, let's say your phone's sitting on the couch and Barbara calls and I missed the call, what's going to tell me in a big banner, hey, you missed a call from Barbara and it happened at 4 o'clock or whatever. That tells me that I missed a call, and then it's up to me to get back with her, or in some cases not get back. If you're a mean person, don't get back, whatever the case may be. But your phone keeps you notified of what's going on. And I was talking to Tom and Bobby about this last week, because we were talking about notifications. And there are really 2 kinds of notifications on your phone. Okay? That's just my own thinking. If you talk to somebody else, they'll probably say I'm crazy. There's way more than that. But in my book, there's 2 kinds. And one of them is regular notifications, ones that come up and you see them, and once you get into your phone after you see them, they go away. All those regular non-persistent notifications, okay? And then you got other ones that are persistent. And what I mean by that, these are ones that are usually thrown up by the system. For example, if you haven't backed up your phone in a few weeks, your contacts haven't been backed up or whatever it is, it'll put a little notification out there and tell you, it'll say, your phone has been backed up for so many days. And it tells you that because you need to be aware that you should get your phone back, because you want all of your information to exist on your secure phone and on the secure place at Apple. So in case anything happens to your phone, you don't lose any contacts, you don't lose anything else, you don't lose any data. And that's very important to keep. In fact, it's one of the biggest things. Keep your phone backed up, and just as important, keep it up to date. All of you should have, as a date of this meeting, should be on 14.4.1. If you're not, you're missing some security updates. And then the next one's coming out in about a month, 14.5, which is a real important update for security. And definitely get that. If you have any doubts, just get it. It's worth it. You need it. So all that withstanding, we can get back to this notification area. So if you want to hear your notifications, all you do is tell Siri, you ask Siri, do I have any notifications? And she will play them for you all. If you want to do it via voiceover and gestures, when you open your phone up, if there's any notifications, there'll be banners on the screen under the time. And you can navigate your finger down the screen using voiceover, and you can read each one, and you can optionally swipe up and choose the clear option to clear them one at a time. Or you can just hit the home button and those will just go away because they'll be cleared automatically in mass when you open the home button. And let me see. Yeah, listening. Oh. So other notifications can also be controlled via settings. Sorry, I went out there for a second. I forgot where I left off. So each application will, if you go into settings and notification, you'll have some general stuff on top, but then below that, you'll have each application listed in a list. And you can go in there on each one and you can turn notifications off. You can say, oh, just show badges, show it on the lock screen, don't show it. You have a lot of customizations per app. I turn most of the apps off except for the ones I really need, the ones that are important to me. And I think it'd be a good idea for you guys to go into your notifications and just play with those settings. Because if you're getting, if you're getting angry because one app is just always notifying you, this person did this. Like, let's say if you have Facebook notifications on, okay, and somebody does something and it triggers a notification on your phone, you're going to constantly be getting notifications that you don't really want. Well, you can tell the phone to ignore those and not show them. And that's what I've done for a lot of my students who don't want those notifications. Now, the other part of notifications are those government notifications, like those Amber Alerts. There's also emergency notifications and public safety notifications. Those each have a toggle switch at the very bottom of the notifications, settings notifications area. You can toggle those off. If you don't want to get any more Amber Alerts or warnings from the government, you just knock those to off and you won't receive any more of those kind of notifications. So it's a good screen to explore and customize your phone to make it a little more friendly for you. Any questions? Okay. We're getting towards the end, guys. No worries. Okay, so one thing that Barbara asked me about the other day when we were having a class, and it was a real good point, and I didn't have a good answer for her back then, but I've since done a little homework and got it together, got my stuff together on this one. So your phone also has what's called a control center. And what a control center does on your phone is it groups common controls into a screen so you can toggle things off and on, like flashlight, airplane mode. It also has a facility to do this thing called AirPlay. Like if your TV supports AirPlay, you can take what's on your screen, blast it on your TV. Well, let me go to Control Center and we can go through a few of them and you can see what I'm talking about. So let me open this up.
8:11 p.m.
Okay.
Cancel.
So to get to Control Center, you take a single finger from the top right corner and go down.
Control Center.
Okay.
Airplane mode.
And
switch button.
Conversely, if you want to close that, you can hit the home button or you can do the opposite corner going up.
Open controls. Timer. Button.
Wait a minute. Try it again. There it goes. I had to look at it that time. Sorry.
Tuesday.
So
okay, so that Manny, that gesture again to get to Control Center is what?
Right corner, right top corner, home button at the bottom, okay, right top corner of your phone. Single finger come down off the corner to the middle of the screen.
VLC. Control center.
Like you,
Airplane mode. Switch button.
so I'm in the control center. Once you open it, and Barbara, if you have trouble with it, we'll go over it next time. We'll get you real good at it if you're having trouble. So I'm just going to go over a few things. You get the flashlight in here. You got all kinds of crazy stuff, but you'll get an idea why the control center exists. One thing I can think of right off the top of my head is like if you're flying on a plane, let's say you're going somewhere and hey, turn your phones to airplane mode. We can bring the control center down and you can really quickly find airplane mode and just toggle it on and then toggle it off when you're ready. Instead of going to settings and airplane mode and then, it just saves a little bit of time and frustration having to navigate. So
camera button.
So let's go to the first part here.
Airplane mode.
Yeah.
Switch button.
There's airplane mode. If I were to double
tap and hold to show.
If I were to double tap that airplane mode button, it would turn it on. Now for you visual folks, you'll get color indicators showing the status of the button. If it's colorful, it's probably on. If it's black and white, it's probably off. But for the rest of us, we use our single finger swiping to just go through the controls and see where it's at. So I'm on airplane. I'm gonna go to the next one.
Cellular data. Switch button. On.
Okay, cellular data.
Tap and hold
I won't try to explain all of these because it might be too much, but these are controls that help you control how your data is used. So we keep going.
Wi-Fi. CenturyLink 4000
Wi-Fi.
Bluetooth. Switch button. Media controls. Not playing.
So if you had something playing, like a podcast or you had a song playing, the media controls will be lit up and you could do play, backward, forward, pause, whatever.
Playback destination. Previous track. Play. Next track. Switch button.
Lock rotation is interesting. We haven't talked about that.
Toggle set.
Be quiet. Lock rotation is a setting that says, no matter which way I turn the phone, I don't want it to switch orientation. So if you have the phone up and down, it's going to be by default in a portrait mode. If you flip it to the side, it's going to switch. The whole interface is going to turn and be a lot wider, and that's called landscape mode. But you can prevent it from doing that by toggling that button that we're on, which is lock, whatever it's called.
Media lock rotation.
Lock rotation.
Switch button. Do not disturb. Switch.
Do not disturb. That just silences calls and notifications and everything else. So if you want a quick way to silence notifications that we were just talking about a minute ago, turn on do not disturb and you won't get any. So keep going.
Brightness 33%.
Screen brightness, if you really need it brighter, if you're using your vision, you can kick it up to 50 or I have it low because I really don't look at the screen that much. It's just more for you guys. And then we're going to go next one.
Volume 88.
So that's general volume. You have volumes for each thing, but you can have a general volume, like a master volume, and that's at 80% on my phone. You can kick it to 100 or take it down if you need to.
Screen mirroring button.
Screen mirroring.
Tap and hold to show more.
That's taking your screen and mirroring it on another device. So if you have an Apple iPhone and you want to mirror it to a TV or you want to mirror it to an iPad or something that supports AirPlay, you can do that and you can see it big. I've got a student who does that, and she's got a real huge TV that she puts it on and she can see everything real big. And then keep going.
Flashlight. Switch button.
Flashlight, obviously, it just turns on the light.
Timer button.
It's a quick way to get a timer going. You can just do it there. I use Siri, but you can use Control Center too.
Camera button.
Camera button.
Apple TV remote button.
So if you have an Apple TV and you can't find the remote, or you just want to use your phone, well, the phone can act as a remote control for your Apple TV. It has all the controls there. You can control it with your phone instead of the remote that comes with it.
Sound recognition button.
Sound recognition is a new thing. We haven't talked about that at all, but it's part of the accessibility that was put into the last big wave of changes. And basically it will recognize sounds like water running or a door slamming. It'll tell you, like if you have hearing issues, it'll actually tell you or show you, depending on how you got it set up. So it recognizes sounds that could potentially be dangerous. You know, like if you leave the water running and you don't know, it can tell you, hey, the water's running. That kind of stuff.
Sound recognition.
And that's about it for Control Center. You can then customize it, but that's kind of beyond the scope of tonight. You can add your own buttons on there and stuff too. It's really, really very flexible. And again, to close it, you go from the other part of the bottom of the screen, single finger swipe up, or the home gesture, you know.
Screen mirroring.
Let me try that.
Button.
And I'm back to the home.
Calendar.
I'm back to the home page. So any questions about Control Center, or are we good to go?
Manny, what are Media Control Center?
I'm sorry, can you say that again? I'm sorry.
What is the Media Control Center?
You talk about the media controls inside Control Center?
It's in the Control Center. I think it is Media Controls, not playing.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I probably went too fast over that. So what it is are your transport controls for when you play media. So like a video or audio, you'll have a play button, and then you'll have like the next track, the previous track, pause, or you can move the slider. Like you can take the slider and move it back a little bit, maybe. Those are called media transport controls, and that's just a quick way to get to those for whatever's playing. That's what that's for. If I were playing something, like I had a song playing in the background, because you can do that, your phone can be playing stuff in the background while you're doing something else. If you bring up the Control Center, you could stop that, or you could pause it, or whatever you wanted to do. That's what that's there for.
Okay.
All right. Okay, now we're getting to the nitty gritty here. So one of my favorite subjects is accessibility. Has anybody gone through the settings on their phone and played around with some of the accessibility settings?
I have.
Okay. So one of the, if you're using VoiceOver, the easiest way to get to those settings is just tell Siri to open VoiceOver settings. I'm going to do that. Okay.
8:19 p.m.
Hey Siri.
Calendar.
Oops. Open VoiceOver settings.
Calendar.
Ah,
Mark. 50%.
My phone's not behaving. Hang on. Hey Siri. Open VoiceOver settings.
Here are the VoiceOver settings. Settings. Accessibility.
So what's cool about this is for people who are using VoiceOver, I know that everyone is not on the VoiceOver thing yet, and varying degrees of sight, may keep you from doing it. But I would highly recommend it if you feel that your site's not going to maintain where it's at or get better, you should definitely make this your best friend, because it's a lot easier now to learn this when you got a little more vision than when you're doing it later on. And just a little warning for you guys if you're putting it off, it's just a little bit of advice from me. So VoiceOver is a screen reader. And the big settings for VoiceOver, there are a lot of settings, too many to go through here. But I'll give you the top like 5 of them, okay? So the VoiceOver, you want to make sure that you're okay with the voice, okay? The default VoiceOver voice is the US female Samantha, okay? But you could also change the voice to a male, Alex, or you could use a foreign dialect, or you could use many flavors of English, or if your phone is in a different language, you can use that too. Okay, the voice is important. The amount of the speed is important too. If you're not tuned to hearing it go fast, then you want to slow it down. You want to be sure that setting is good. And of course, the volume. You don't want it giving you a headache after 2 sentences. You want to have it at a pleasant volume. I have it extremely loud now, but that's for a specific purpose. Typically, it's way down. So, but anyway, those are the main ones for VoiceOver. And also, there's a keyboard setting on here for, when you type, like I say, you're going to type the word, the name Barbara, you can type it a few ways. You can go in and you can find the B on the keyboard, probably Barbara you would dictate, but let's say you're going to spell it out with a keyboard. So you go down to the B, and then you have a choice of either setting it to where you find the B and then you double tap to get the B, or you find the B and you simply lift your finger and the B goes in. Those are the different typing styles that you can choose from. I think there's a total of 3 typing styles. So those are the main voiceover features. And of course, there are many others. Let me go through a few of them here. One of the big ones that you might want to look into as well is this voiceover practice.
Voiceover practice.
And what that does, that pulls up a screen where you can play around with the gestures and practice them, and it'll tell you what you did. So if you're having trouble doing a single finger swipe up or down or whatever it is, you can then pull up this voiceover practice, and you can, well, let me just do it.
Voiceover practice button. Voiceover practice.
So
heading. Practice voiceover gestures. Commands.
Okay, so I'm gonna
typing in this area. 2-finger single tap. Toggle speech.
Okay, so it's I just touched the screen with 2 fingers. Now I'm going to touch it with 1 finger, and so let's see what it says.
Touch. Speak item.
Okay, I'm going to do a 2-finger swipe up. That should be a read command. Okay.
2-finger swipe up. Read from top.
Okay, 2-finger swipe down is a different kind of read.
2-finger swipe down. Read all.
Okay, swipe to the right, single finger.
1-finger swipe right. Move to next item.
Swipe left.
1-finger swipe left. Move to previous item.
Let's try this 3-finger thing that we were doing. This 3-finger scroll where we scroll screens. Let's try that.
3-finger swipe up. Scroll down.
And swipe down.
3-finger swipe down. Scroll up.
To the right.
3-finger swipe right. Scroll left. Undo.
Oops.
3-finger swipe left. Scroll right.
And then of course the 2-finger touch to pause it.
2-finger single tap. Toggle speech.
Okay. So that is a great screen to practice your gestures, to get them physically memorized, because there's a muscle memory component to practicing that's required to be successful at this. And I encourage everybody to go to this and do that. And how you do it is you tell Siri to open voiceover settings, go down to the button that says voiceover practice, double tap on it, and just go for it. And when you're done, there's going to be a button at the very top right, and you can just use your finger to glide up there if you want to.
Touch. Tap done. Button.
You hit the done button, then you're back into normal mode for the phone. So I'm gonna do that.
Practice voiceover gestures. Done. Button.
Now it's done.
Voiceover practice. Button.
And it's very important to do that, to have voiceover, to get good at the gestures. That's the biggest downfall I see with, not downfall, but the hardest hurdle for students is to get those gestures down, because they're not normal. And I gotta admit, Apple makes you do all kinds of gymnastics sometimes to do things. But once you start practicing them, you'll get better. Now, the last thing that I have is, let me just make sure. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. So the last thing I have is visual improvements. For people with low vision, if you want to make your phone easier to read, there's a few things you can do. So one of those things is you can learn how to use the screen zoom. Okay, you have to go into settings and turn that on, turn zoom on, and then you go down to the region that's being zoomed and change it to full screen. Then you can double tap with 3 fingers to enable zoom, and then everything on your screen gets real big for low vision people to see it, and then you can pan around the screen and things like that. Another thing that you may want to do is enable the optical magnifier. I think it's just called magnifier now. And what you do is you press either the home button 3 times or the power button 3 times, and that will bring up the magnifier, and you can use it to magnify text. And again, this is for low vision. This is not for those of us who are real low vision or dark. And then sometimes if you're very sensitive to bright screens, you can do what's called smart invert. And what that does, that turns the white stuff black and then the black text white, so the text pops out. And then images, it tries not to do that, not to invert those so they look like weird ghosts, but it keeps the original pictures and images as they are. But the screen elements, the list and the navigation, they're all a darker color with brighter letters. And depending on what type of visual issue you have, one may work good for you or another may work good for you, but you have that flexibility. And then you can make text larger and bold. So if you're using your vision a lot, you can actually up the size of the text. Now that's great because it does let you see it, but also your everything looks funky. It looks different. Everything is big. A list of 3 items may take 3 scrolls to get to the list, where it would only could be displayed on one screen before. So you got to remember that. Yeah, there's some give and take on making things bigger on the phone. And then there's also for the screen itself, you can have smaller icons, or you can get them about 20% bigger in what's called a zoomed view of your phone. You set it up in the display and brightness setting, and you change from standard view to zoomed, and everything gets bigger, but it all still works. But it's all bigger. It doesn't look gaudy or not gaudy, but it's a bad word. Let's say it doesn't bleed over so much where you can't really see it. And then I always recommend for higher contrast to go into your display and brightness settings and then choose a black background. So if you are reading your icon labels on the screen, you can then see them white on a black background, as high contrast as possible. So, and that's basically what I have tonight. I don't know if there's any questions about anything I covered, or if you're completely done with this information. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. So,
Manny, this is Nancy DePaul.
yes.
I don't remember how I did it, but I managed to get a little arrow on the side of my screen, and if I touch it, it'll read the whole screen to me. It gives me a menu. It'll either read the whole screen to me, or I can take the little hand and point it at what I want it to read. But I'd like to know if I can start what I do to start the reading, say in the middle of the screen, and not have to read the whole darn thing.
I believe that you can do a 2-finger swipe down to do that. I believe. Now,
do I have to be in voiceover mode?
I think it works in both, but don't quote me on that yet because I haven't looked into the non-voiceover thing. But there is a way to read the screen without having voiceover on, but I haven't played with that enough to give you a confident answer. But if you'd like, I can research it.
Under voiceover, there's an app that says speak the screen, and if you have that turned on, it will do it. Yeah,
that could be it actually. Now I think
I mean, that's what I got on, but I don't want it to read the whole screen. I just want to read, say, from 2/3 of the way down. It's like when you get an email. I don't need it to read. It came from Barbara, and it has 40 other people who got the email. All I needed to read is the content.
I would have to look into that. I'm sorry I don't have the answer to that because I don't use that speak screen without voiceover. So that's new to me. And I'd have to go look to see why it would be reading way too much for you. And I
well, I mean, sometimes it'll do one paragraph at a time, and that's tedious. If I want to only read paragraph 2 and 3, that's all I want to read. I don't want to read the whole page. So thank you. If you'll inform me in the future, that would be great.
Yeah, I'm gonna review this video when we're done, and any outstanding questions that we have, I'm gonna address in the notes that I publish after this. So,
super.
No worries there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Manny, did you get a chance to try that new Lumen magnifier?
I'm still working with it. What I do know about Lumen, whatever it is called, it does seem to work like one of those portable hand, like the Rubies. It's really good at what it does, like the Eschenbachs and the Rubies. So I'm gonna play with it, and I'm gonna see if I can get Patty to look at it too and see what she thinks, and maybe have a better answer for you, Barbara, next time. I haven't done my homework on Lumen yet. Let me put it that
Yeah,
way.
because it was only 99 cents.
Yeah, it's real cheap, but it looks like it's really good at keeping focus at all distances, which has been plaguing the other magnifiers that we use. So.
Oh, may I
Good
say something else? I used Be My Eyes this week to help me. I couldn't see the TV screen when they ask you, do you want to update this app? And then it didn't read the choices of the buttons. And so I was back to square one. So I called Be My Eyes and they could read the screen for me. But in the process, I realized that I can use my phone to magnify things without having to get up and be right on top of the TV.
Very good. Very
And
good.
the other thing I've learned to use my phone for, I got all kinds of gadgets, and I've got a newer bread machine, and it doesn't have a backlight on the display, which is really stupid. And so I realized that if I need, so I can't see it worth a darn. So I magnified it with my iPhone, and I was able to read the screen.
Very good. Very good.
And you can take a picture of it too and memorize things.
Yeah, you
which
can
is
freeze
really
it and
good.
look at it without having to hold it, yeah.
Right, it's great.
Yeah.
And the other thing we can do too is face. I learned how to do. I can just say FaceTime Manny, and then take a picture of it with the camera, and he could help you.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody that's sighted, you can do that with.
Right, I've done that. I've sent it to friends because they know I need help from time to
You'd
time.
be surprised how many people do that. Use FaceTime and another person, kind of like Be My Eyes or Ira. They'll look at it and say, "Oh yeah, that's a little puppy dog with a bone in its mouth or whatever." No problem.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Just trying to make it.
One day at a time.
You bet.
Well, Barbara, what do you think?
Wow, I think you did a super job.
Oh,
My
thank you.
brain is full. Wow.
Well, I'm
Thank you,
going to
Manny.
do some very detailed notes on what I just said, and along with this video, everybody should be able to do 99% of what I just showed you, because everything I showed you, I was doing in front of you. So hopefully that'll be something you guys could replicate if you so desire.
Barbara?
Yeah.
I think Manny did a bang up job on the email that made it so clear to me. I learned a lot from listening to him.
This is videoed, right? And you're going to put it out there so we can review it if we want to.
Yeah, John is going to get it for us, and then I'll repost it, and then I'll publish some real detailed notes for you guys. So you're not going to be at all in the dark.
Okay.
I'm going to cut the recording now if you want.
All right, Lupita, what do you think?
I loved it as always.
She's biased.
Yeah.
And Tom, what do you think?
Very nice, but a little confusing.